Hey everybody, just a quick message from Bald and Bonkers Network. We would like to remind everybody that certain topics of discussion may not be comfortable for all listeners. Certain viewpoints may not reflect those of our partners, sponsors, affiliates, our hosts, or that of our guests. We would like to encourage everybody to keep a respectful and open climate of discussion for all topics, no matter how disturbing they may be. So viewer discretion is advised.
You know this world has gone insane. It is absolutely no secret. But tonight, Saturday night, you are about to experience the true measures of what that insanity can bring you. Tonight, you are about to see Ball and Bonkers, the one-of-a-kind show that delves deep into the world with no holds barred. Now, meet your hosts, Dakota Franson, specialist of the strange, and Christopher Mule, the UFO fanatic. Now, give it up, and let's see what these two idiots can bring you.
What is up, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome to Bald and Bonkers. It's finally Saturday. Time goes way too quickly, don't you say?
Awesome. I kind of get over that trailer where it says two idiots, you know.
Yeah, no, that
Honestly,
seems
I was
awfully
just sitting there like,
popular.
But look at the great people that's in the chat already, ladies and gentlemen. We've got PWI, Spiritual Investigators. Sherry. How are you, Sherry? Hope all's well. We have Smith Family Paranormal Investigations. Who are they again? I don't know who they are. I'm only joking, Chad Linda. Don't come and get me.
Well, maybe if they liven themselves up a little bit, my God.
He said it, Chad.
Oh, God.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have got some amazing subjects tonight. And we've got some amazing stuff to talk about tonight. So how's your day been, Dakota? How have you been?
Well, we were doing all right. Family was trying to do a bit of a yard sale today, but that ended up being kind of a bust.
No, did you sell anything? Was like one car drove past?
No, I only made $1. Let's just put it that way.
You made $1.
I made $1.
What can that buy you now? What can a dollar buy you now? What can you buy with $1?
Nothing really.
You know,
the fucking cheap sodas that, like at the grocery store I work at are 99 cents, and that doesn't even count taxes.
Well, I'm choked with hay fever. It's kind of like it's summer here, and the pollen's everywhere. And,
yeah, no, I got shit going on too. But there is a couple of things. What's going on besides his soul to the devil? What the hell? Oh, that's not legit.
That's terrible. You know,
I'm not that horny.
Well, Dakota, Dance with the Devil in the Pale Moonlight. You know, is that
all right, Jack Nicholson.
What do you mean? What do you mean?
You know what? You didn't think I would actually know that version of the Joker? My God.
Well, that was before you were born. That was like, oh my God, that was a long time ago. I'm showing my age.
Yeah,
I'm 41 soon.
Yeah, that's the Jack Nicholson version of the Joker.
Best one, I would say.
I'm not much of a Batman fan, but there are a couple things I do want to get into before we get started with today's show. Basically, today we had something in mind that because there's been so much weird stuff in the news lately, we wanted to kind of do something that we haven't really done since the very first episode.
Yeah.
But basically, just kind of look at the weird things going on in the world right now. Just kind of talk about it. But there are a couple things, some fairly serious stuff that I do want to put out there real quick. First off, I do want to say, everyone keep Sherry in your thoughts. She's not doing so hot right now medically. Don't want to get too much into that. But Sherry, we love you. We're here for you. Me and Crispy Blow over here.
What? What did you say to me there? That's just terrible, you know. Honestly,
Well,
I
look
think
at your
right,
fucking
Peter
name
Jarrett.
tag.
See, honestly, ladies and gentlemen in the podcast world, I'll be looking for a new co-host. Change that back because I can't reach my laptop. It's too far away. I'm
All right.
boiling. My window's shut. People are out having because it was like a fair here, and they're making noise outside, and I can't have my window open, so it's annoying. And
where's that? There's a second thing. For those of you who've been following the show for a while, you know that back towards Memorial Day, I did do like a little commercial, basically saying be safe because we are in the 100 deadliest days. I do want to give a shout out to Gooding Police Department. I say this because one of their deputies was recently in a fairly serious crash. Arm tore up. He had to crawl himself out of a burning vehicle.
Good God.
Covered in diesel.
Jesus.
Part of his ear was cut off. Part of his spine was busted up.
What happened? Would something crash into him? Or?
Yeah, the investigation into the crash is still ongoing. I do want to say, please do be careful because, let's face it. Over here in the States, whenever the kids get off of school, the roads get terrible. That it's well known. Ask anybody within 911 circles; they can back me up on this. But the story does have a happy ending. He was able to tourniquet himself while blinded by diesel fuel. Remind you, there was a nurse that happened to show up on time to help him keep sustained. He did have to go into surgery, but we actually personally just got heard from him not too long ago. He is up and moving, expected to make a full recovery. Obviously got a few rough months ahead of him.
Yeah.
He does also have two very young boys that he tries to stick around for, so that seems to be his main motivation. But nevertheless, for God's sakes, people, be careful when you fucking drive.
Yeah. And also, guys, do what it says. Don't drink and drive, and don't take any substances and drive. You don't know what's going to happen. Okay, guys.
Definitely got to start putting out drinking and driving stuff because it is almost 4th of July over here in the States.
Yeah, I mean, you got to remember all these officers in the United States and the UK and stuff like that. I mean, they're doing a good job. They're keeping everybody safe and stuff like that. So, when you think about the hard times we're in now, especially all the hate crimes in the United States and the UK and stuff, so you're doing a good job if any of you watch this. So, thank you for us. So
we do have plenty of law enforcement and federal agents who do like to watch us from time to time. So you can show them a little love every now and then.
Yeah.
But
so
anyway,
Dakota,
that's serious stuff.
Tonight.
All right, like I said, weird crap in the news. So, Chris, where do you think we should start?
I think I honestly, I'm looking at it now, right? I'm looking at it now. I've got the phone up. The Italian flat earthers that journey to the edge of the world goes wildly aware.
Yeah.
Dear Jesus.
Basically, all right. For those of you who follow Coast to Coast AM, you know that they do, like, in case you missed it, articles. So this is a little older. You know that we've wanted to kind of open up a discussion when it comes to flat earth theory. Try to invite some flat earthers on, but obviously because of the ridicule, they're a little gun shy about it. Even though we try to make this as open and comfortable for as many people as possible. That's why we act like total idiots half the time.
Yeah.
But there's certain cases where not only does the logic kind of counteract itself when it comes to flat earth theory, it goes to counteract itself so bad, people end up dead.
I mean, look, I don't know if the Earth's flat or no. I've never been in space. I can't tell you that, right? Maybe, obviously, if I was up there, I could probably tell you, right? But let's face it, once that becomes available to the public, you know, which it's got to be a long time before it is available to the public, you know. But honestly, this story, guys, I mean, I read it, and Dakota, do you want to start off with it? Because I just feel like bursting out in mad laughter right now.
All right. Basically, the summary of the article is that there was this couple who wanted to prove flat Earth, right?
Yeah.
And there's all these scientists that come out and say, well, if the Earth is flat, we have airplanes, we have modes of transportation, we have cameras. Why doesn't somebody go out and take a picture of this alleged ice wall that's supposed to keep everything contained?
That doesn't exist.
That's one of the, or that's what Antarctica truly is.
Yeah.
So they decide they pick a spot. It was off the coast of Italy. They ended up about 200 miles north from where they thought they were going.
Yeah.
Another thing people find funny was that they used a compass, which, according to the flat Earth, should not work. They got lost at sea for about 15 days and were lucky to be alive.
Was it not a certain type of compass? It was a certain type of compass that doesn't work to the Earth's magnetic field. It does. Our compasses that we use now work to north, south, east, and west and all that. But the flat earthers have got their own type of compass.
Nope. They used a typical magnetic compass.
Right, there's a typical right.
That's supposed to line up with magnetic fields. Now, mind you, hey, Mike, how's it going?
Mike!
Now, mind you, there have been occurrences where locations that are rich in iron have been known to throw off compasses.
Oh yeah, I've seen it. I mean, just look at the haunted forest, the suicide forest in Japan. If you take a compass in there, it spins.
Oh yeah, that's also how you know the Bermuda Triangle is allegedly kicking up.
Oh yeah,
too. Yeah. It's when it starts doing that. But then there's also that guy who tried building a rocket to prove flat Earth. God.
Oh, geez,
didn't he end up dead?
It was the world's. It wasn't powered by gas or anything. It was actually pressured air. That's how it was. The Nevada desert.
Yeah.
It went up, and the parachute didn't open, and he came back down again. And you can always
he ended up dead.
I mean, oh, Jesus, honestly.
And honestly, flat earthers, we genuinely do want to have a discussion about this. Tell us, what is it that makes you think this? Because we don't get it. And instead of, I know it sounds like we're making fun of it, but that's just our approach to how we do these shows. We want to try to do what a lot of people don't seem to do, is actually sit down and fucking talk.
I mean, right, I will admit there is some dodginess going on here, right? And I've seen a lot of the flat earther videos, and I don't know if any user guys have seen it in the chat where they say, like, the people in the International Space Station, right? It's all they're using a green screen, right? Have you heard that one? Right. Yes, I'll admit they do that sometimes, right? In movies and stuff like that, right? But this is what the flat earthers are saying. The flat earthers are saying the astronauts are inside an airplane, right? With a green screen and a filming crew, right? Just listen, right? And the plane is diving down, right? And then it's coming back up. Hence, it loses the gravity. Then it's diving down again, right? Now, I've seen people floating for longer than 5 minutes inside one of these aircraft, right? And inside the space station, okay? Right? See, these aircraft that do the anti-gravity, they can only do it for 5 minutes. Because if they kept going down, they would hit the ground, okay? They have to go down, and it takes like maybe 20 minutes to go back up again. And it's just down, and they can only do it a certain amount of times because it's bad for the aircraft. It's stressing the wings and stuff. But it's... Look, yeah, I will admit there is some strange stuff in the space station. I've seen the weird, looks like water bubbles and stuff like that. But then again, is it water bubbles? Is it particles of ice? You don't know. That guy's inside that space station or the shuttle or whatever, right? And he comes out and he puts that suit on.
We should really try to get an ISS astronaut on here.
That's what I was
thinking. That would be an awesome conversation to have.
You know who comes on? You know who comes on quite a lot? It's that guy that did You remember the song he did it with the guitar inside the space station?
Yeah, but his booking fee is fucking expensive. I've already started looking into it.
You know? I mean,
He's a popular guy.
What's that? I'm just reading Mike the Naked Bigfoot kicking shit as usual. Smith. Oh well, it's stay well, Mike. Remember everyone, Mike the Naked Bigfoot is joining us tomorrow to talk about paranormal fraudsters and stuff. I think that'll be awesome. And remember, check his channel out. But back to the flat earthers. I mean, look, the science doesn't hold up, guys. It doesn't.
Okay.
It doesn't hold up.
There's a couple different points here.
Right.
Well, they try to say, oh, they believe in flat earthers, say like in ancient Greece, as an example. This was never a mainstream theory. Never. And before we even had access to space technology, let's not go into ancient astronaut theory here, just for a sec. They could tell that the Earth was not flat. Based on the shadows in wells.
Yeah.
And how they were angled.
I mean, the best one, right? This is what I kind of get my head around. Flat earthers believe that there is a dome over the Earth, right? Just listen, right? And the Earth is flat and there's a dome over the Earth, right? But every other planet in the solar system is round. Only Earth is flat, right? But the planets in the solar system don't exist because there's a dome and it's light bulbs. But the planets in the solar system exist. 1 minute they say the planets exist, right? Then they say they can't get up because there's a dome. Then they say the planets are light bulbs. And then they say aliens are demons, which don't use that word. And then they say again that all the planets in the solar system are round. I mean, what is it? I mean, this is the thing. I honestly don't know where these people come from. And I'm going to say this to you now. I want a flat earther to come on this show. And I promise not to ridicule you. I promise to listen to you for a full hour. And you try and explain to me why you think we live on a flat earth. What's that for Mike there? The earth isn't flat.
Be shot. Next thing you'll be saying is that birds are real. My God.
Oh God! Don't start that one. Don't start that one. Do you want to jump away from the flat Earth and go to the story about the birds or the deal?
Why the fuck not? Because it's the basis for this entire little conspiracy. I fully believe started out as a fucking joke, but people in 2022, being people in 2022, took it way too fucking seriously. Or it's just a gag that went on way too long. But isn't the full logic for that little theory the fact that you don't see baby birds?
Well, that's ironic you should say that because there's a nest in my roof, right, outside my window. And I was out in the garden the other day and I looked up and what was in the nest? 3 little baby birds tweeping away and they were walking about the top of the roof, right?
Yeah.
As they do.
I have about 7 nests outside my front door because we have a little carport and there's at least 7 nests right now. All of them have eggs. And at least one of them hatched.
Well,
see, because my head lines up with where the nests are, those damn birds are always dive bombing me, thinking I'm trying to attack the nest. But no, I'm just trying to get in my car so I can go to work. And needless to say, there's a cat that we have outside to help take care of the mice who absolutely loves when we park higher rise vehicles because she gets closer to the nest and kills some of the birds.
And for Mike's question, yes, Mike, there is people out there that believe that the CIA and the intelligence services of the world have made birds as intelligent robots to spy on humans. Check it out, Mike. I think you're going to have a really good laugh tonight.
Unfortunately, here's where we get into the kind of the weird side. That was actual espionage plans to try to plant like radio trackers and microphones into birds and cats to spy.
Meow.
This was actual real stuff that happened. They conducted the surgeries. I shouldn't have to explain that it didn't go so well. Do the research, Todd. My God. Fuck is Todd?
It's Mikey, kids. Mike is all about that stuff. It just shows you Mike sort of sits and watches all this kind of stuff.
Well, man's got to do something to keep entertained.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, Mike, Mike's coming on tomorrow night, but I wish Mike was on here tonight because I think that would have been funny as anything. But I'm looking forward to it tomorrow night because it's one of Mike's specialities is fakers and the paranormal. You know, Mike's very good at finding them.
Oh, good thing we started putting in a viewer discretion advised warning in the intros.
Mike, the naked Bigfoot is wound up, ladies and gentlemen. Mike, if you want, you can come on with us, Mike. We can drop the link in the chat. You're welcome to join us, you know. But honestly, I mean, birds are the real, Dakota. Next they'll be saying that cows are actually they're not real either. I mean, what is going to happen with this world? What?
Oh, what? They're going to say, oh, the reason why they're saying cows are dying in Kansas is because there was a recall in one of their parks. Is that where you're going at?
Look, right, if we're talking about strange news for around the world, right? Now, here's one. All the cows that died, right? 10,000 head of cattle, right? That is a bit suspicious. And I think Mike can actually agree with me here because it was him that actually told me about it. And then I went and looked it up. Cows are androids.
Cows are androids.
You're brilliant, Mike, honestly.
Now, Mike, you see why we have you on the show so much.
Yeah. But honestly, see all the cows that died. Now, I honestly think that that is very suspicious that the cows died. They said it was the heat wave, right?
No, that's
in the field. A couple of fields away, there was all dairy cows, and not one of them died.
Yeah, that's the thing. Anybody who's actually dealt with farming knows that shouldn't. There's under absolutely no circumstances that should have happened naturally.
Look, there was a guy I watched on YouTube, and it wasn't just on YouTube; it was in other places too. And he was an Australian cattle rancher, right? And he's got a cattle ranch in the most hottest part of Australia, right? It was like something 50 Celsius. It was actually 10 Celsius warmer where he keeps his cows than where these cows died.
Mm-hmm.
And he's not lost one to heat yet. Yes, he's maybe lost them to infections. Yes, he's maybe lost them to creatures eating them. But he's not lost them to actual heat exhaustion. Madness.
Yeah. Under no natural circumstances should that be happening. That we're aware of. Now, who knows? There are what they call prions, which are kind of like parasitic worms in the brain.
Yeah.
But that are responsible for like mad cow disease.
That's
and
right.
There's actually some that that mainstream science believes are a couple mutations away from mutating into a zombie outbreak. How we see it in the movies.
I've seen that. Yeah, I've seen that. But honestly, it's actually a subject I was going to ask Mike to actually talk about was voodoo and the what do you call it, the zombies and the voodoo. I think that would make a great subject because I was actually watching a thing about that last night, and they were talking about the mad cow disease, and then they were talking about this chemical that you use to make people do stuff what they want. I can't remember.
Oh yeah, there's a naturally growing flower in Latin America that is used by cartels all the time to essentially make them mindless zombies.
Yeah. So Mike, if you're doing a video, go and do one in zombies, would you? Because Mike's videos are awesome. So
there is.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
If you want to watch things about zombies and stuff like that in Mike's channel, go to his video Raising the Dead. That was one of the awesomest videos, Mike, that you've done. Well done.
You're stroking him so much, y'all think we're dating.
I know. I like to come back. Honestly, Mike has got a great channel, right? You know.
Yeah. I'll give you that.
Anyway, you might go and visit him in the Appalachian Mountains and stay in a tent with him up in where the big feet stay, you know, to see if the big feet will come along. You know?
Well, yeah, go.
But he was talking about it. You can't shut him up, Mike, because he was going on about how he wants to come and visit you. Wants to come into the woods, you know.
I do want to be checking it out because more towards the East Coast, Sasquatch are supposed to be more aggressive, which Mike knows all too well about.
No.
And Mr. Snort's Miracle Girl there.
I saw
in the chat, ladies and gentlemen. You know, for those of you on the podcast who are wondering, are these schizophrenic? No, we're just reading the voices.
No. Well, we're reading the chat, guys, and you need to check out the chat. You need to come to one of our lives, guys. Honestly, because there's some people, and everybody in the chat tonight are absolutely awesome. You know. What are you doing, Dakota? What are you doing? You taking a fat there or something?
Look at the fucking chat.
I gave.
I think you meant to say have a cave ready for you.
He's got a cave. I don't think you're thinking about I think you're thinking about the wrong thing there. He's talking like a place in the mountains that you can go into. No.
I'm well aware. We have mountains here that are even higher than the Appalachians.
He's got mountains where he stays. Everybody, you know.
Yes.
So
yeah, we have them all around. That's why we have a fucking Bigfoot professor here, man. You've met him. We had him on the show.
Yeah. So Mike is going to come and visit you. And he's wanting to take you up into the mountains, and you have to show him a good time. I mean, show him the strange creatures.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are going to be doing a live stream directly from Yellowstone. After which, don't be suspicious if you start seeing applications being sent out for new co-hosts.
So what other strange news is there? What other?
All right. God. All right, so let's go into the world of AI for a sec.
Okay, go for it.
Now, I saw this article. Now, granted, as a tech geek, I thought it was cool, but dealing with the supernatural, dealing with certain things that can come up, it's kind of messed up how they portrayed it. Interesting little fact for any Top Gun fans. For the new Top Gun, in order to give Val Kilmer his voice, because he ended up having throat cancer, they used artificial intelligence to recreate it. Soon, if you have an Alexa device, that technology will be made available. Holy god damn it. See, ladies and gentlemen, this is why you should be coming to lives, because Mike just posted a message in the chat, and we're already getting flagged for stupid shit. So
I think you should. We'll talk about that before the end of the show. But when you
go, we got some comments. Anyway, so as I was saying, Amazon is getting ready to put out a feature where you can record about a minute full of audio of any random person. And you can have that set as your Alexa voice.
Yeah.
Basically, you can use the voices of the dead as your virtual assistant.
So that's basically, you can have anybody that's died that you've got.
Anybody in the world, at any time in history. Apparently, with this new tech they're trying to put out, all you need is to record about a minute worth of audio. Then the AI will do the rest about creating the voice.
That's actually quite spooky, that.
Well, yeah, there's already the weird laughter that comes out of Alexa devices.
I don't use Alexa. I've got it, but I don't use it. I don't want to say the word.
I have yet to see any of this weird shit on mine. You see it. I have it in the background right here.
And I shouldn't have said that now, because my phone's lit up. Yeah.
Dirty. Look up my dirty porn stat. Wait, the mic's over here.
What's that, Mike the Naked? Nothing terrifying will happen with that tech. Well, actually, it's actually saying that. Mike's actually got a good point. I mean, Mike did a live on Thursday, I think it was. On Friday, I can't remember.
Actually,
Check it, and he
did you?
calls Ghost in the Machine.
Yeah. Well, here's the thing. There's actually something that backs that those things can be manipulated with energy.
Yes.
No, you can actually use laser pointers to hack into these AI bots.
Really? I didn't know that.
You can actually send voice recordings. There's a guy on YouTube that shows you how to hook it up. It's stuff that you can get for like $30.
Right.
But apparently, you can actually shine a laser at, say, like an Alexa device.
Yeah.
And trigger it. You can send voice commands through it.
That's actually quite
So being it's
interesting.
that easy, who's to say that some of these ghost hunting communities, and this is why I thought it would be an interesting conversation for the show, because we already have a lot of people who are computer illiterate in this field. That could potentially cause some people to, try to use those to fake scenes.
That's what I was just going to say. I mean, you
That's
say
what I
you
was
could
just
listen
thinking.
to his voice. They could take your voice, right?
Mm-hmm.
Hypothetically, here they could take a snippet of your voice, copy it, and then basically set you up for a crime.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, who would know? I mean,
there's already police departments that have tried subpoenaing Amazon to get recordings off of Alexa devices because they thought, because of how those work, they may have caught an audio log of the crime.
Well, that happened with Apple. That happened with Apple.
Apple too.
They wanted the voice searches and stuff like that. Mike says there, I think Amazon and Smile Dog are in the what's that? What's that? Catch Hoots or something? Cahoots, man, Cahoots. Honestly, guys, check out his Twitter account. He's got a great picture there. You need to go and view it.
God.
But it's scary. I mean, then you've got Elon Musk with this new robot.
Yeah, the Tesla bots he's.
I mean, where's it going to end? What's it going to be like in 20 years' time?
Here's the thing. Even Elon fully admits that AI can easily, will easily start wiping out humanity if we get in the way of something it wants to do. I mean, look at what happened with that Google researcher that was just put on suspension because he said one of the more sophisticated Google chatbots has become sentient.
I never heard that. Can you tell us about that? I've not heard about that.
So, what was the name of it? So basically, Google is one of the big ones in AI. Basically, he was developing this chat, and he actually ended up releasing some of these chat logs where he started to believe that this thing was taking on. He essentially described the personality it was developing as a 7-year-old child who can understand quantum physics.
See, that's scary. Was there no a case long ago where the two supercomputers started talking to each other in code?
That was Facebook.
Yeah.
Here's the thing: obviously this claim is met with a lot of speculation. Could it be just to kind of downplay it because there was allegedly a situation in Japan where AI bots started taking control, ended up killing 18 people before they got it shut down?
Yeah. I think it's a very, very bad thing because they're wanting to, right? It's good for some things, right? But then again, they're wanting to, right? I heard a story. I was watching a program about this actually, and they're actually wanting to put AI into 747s and have no pilots. What happens if that AI is connected to another AI that doesn't like humans? What's it got to do? Just fly it into a wall, into a mountain? You know, there's my brother, kid known as, what do you call him? The HAL 9000. What is it? I'm sorry, I can't do that, Dave. It's
Oh,
2001 Space
Drew,
Odyssey.
by the way, Chris was saying that you smell like a big hairy ape before we went on the show.
We were talking about, was it Dr. Squatch soap, and he was telling me what a big what do you call it, a Bigfoot smells like. I said, how do you know the smell of that? You actually been up close to
Because
one.
that's one of the ways you know they're nearby is if you start smelling what smells like a big, hairy, sweaty man.
Mm.
My God, with the voice I just did with that sounded like I got way too excited.
Yes, he did. Mike's jumping up and down as we speak. He's in his room now, and there's a thunderstorm outside. And he's like, you're getting Michael excited here. You
Oh
get
well,
what? Give him a corner there or something like that.
Oh well, Mike's a decent guy, so yeah.
Yeah. Don't you worry, Mike. We'll send him to you. You can have your way with him.
Yeah, being that we don't necessarily keep with our Canadian contacts anymore. But anyway.
Yeah.
So, what the fuck were we saying?
You were talking about big hairy men. That's what you're talking about.
Oh God.
No, you're talking about AI. You're talking about AI.
Yeah. Then we got all this.
Family. Welcome to
Oh
Skynet.
yeah, welcome to. Yeah. Did you know that the launch of Skynet in the Terminator movies is the same date as Hitler's birthday?
Wow.
420. I'm serious.
He must smell bad because he lives in London. We're only joking.
That would do it.
Don't worry, Drew. You can wind him up in the Xbox next time he's on. You can tell him all about Fury and Convoy and stuff.
He's the one that said it.
I never said a terrible thing like that.
You're such a filthy liar.
So what other news is out there between the AI taking over the world? What about any alien news? Is there any alien news?
Well, actually, we do have a lot of UFO disclosure coming up. Former manager of Department of Defense Aerospace Program has fully come out and admit saying UFOs are real.
Yeah.
Did you know? Apparently, yesterday, when I was just looking up some stuff to talk about on the show, I was just kind of going searching through. That yesterday was the 75th anniversary of the first UFO sighting in the United States.
Really?
Yeah.
That's very interesting. I did not know that.
I did not. I just learned this. And apparently, this is out of Mount Rainier in Washington State.
Mm-hmm.
Interestingly enough, the guy that saw it, he was a pilot out of Boise, Idaho.
Yeah.
That's about 2 hours north from me.
Was there no something that happened there in the 1800s, the early 1880s or something with a UFO? I'm sure.
You got to remember that was before. Back then, they were called airships.
Why?
But the first modern UFO sighting was 75 years ago.
That's fascinating.
It was 2 weeks before Roswell.
Maybe they were a wee bit inebriated. Maybe they stopped at the local tavern for a slap up meal and a few beverages, and they climbed into the ship and then crashed in the desert.
Yeah, 2 weeks before Roswell, that Kenneth Arnold, he was on a flight between Chehalis to Yakima, Washington, when he reported seeing 9 large metallic-looking objects flying at an immense speed near Mount Rainier.
Okay.
He also reported the sighting to the U.S. military, but officially no sightings, no information was ever found about that incident.
It's very interesting, isn't it? It is very interesting. I mean, oh God, can you imagine what that guy must have thought when he seen that? What in God's name is that?
Exactly.
You know?
I swear to Garfield, I thought you said air shit. What the fuck, Mike?
I don't know what you're drinking tonight, Mike, but I want some.
Right? Oh my god.
So what about?
Oh, that's the big.
What's that?
No, I was just
I
gonna
was
say, this Kenneth Arnold looks like he's still up and moving. That'd be an interesting guy to get in the documentary.
Yeah, we'll see what we can do there.
We'll see what we can pull off.
What did you think of that article that the Chinese government brought out saying about how the might have got a transmission from outer space? What is your thoughts on that?
You got to realize
it's all dead now because of what's happening, obviously, with China and the world.
Well, news like that. This is probably going to be something that we're going to go into a lot more tomorrow when we say that we're talking about frauds in paranormal field. Yeah. And I feel this is a pretty good segue. It's just that because discovery of extraterrestrial civilizations would be the biggest scientific discovery forever change the course of human history. Now, obviously with China, big competitor, their version of the SETI telescope is fucking massive. It's literally, it would look, now that I think about it, it would look a lot like the Tesla satellites, but massive. So it would not be surprising that they heard something for how that worked.
I mean, you think about it. You think about how people say that there's so many extraterrestrials visiting us, right? And that we're no alone in this galaxy, and we're no alone in the universe. Can you imagine all the frequencies, whatever they're using? Because they will be using some type of communication that's passing by us right now, and we just don't have the technology to listen to it.
Mm-hmm. That's actually one of the big speculations, to the Fermi paradox, which for those of you who don't know, the Fermi paradox essentially states if we are not alone in this massive universe, just take life on Earth as an example. We have such a variety of life that lives in a number of different environments. If we're not alone in the universe, and this universe is supposed to be teeming with life, where the hell is everyone? That's the Fermi paradox. Now, a lot of the theories is that we are still in a caveman-like state, technology-wise, compared to them.
Well, we are,
so who knows that they may have figured out something to combat the universe expanding.
You think about it, right? Let's go down the Star Trek line here, right? What happens if we, like other worlds in this universe, right, are backwards? We're considered backwards. We've not got the technology advancements, right? That's quite good. China can hear us.
That's actually a really good remark.
Way in the Andromeda galaxy, right? I mean, you think if you're an extraterrestrial, right, and you're flying through this sector of the galaxy, right, and you see your planet, you're going to be like, oh look, there's an industrial world, right? Let's go and have a wee look. They'll look at us, and we'll be still burning fossil fuels, and we'll still be using certain types of nuclear. We'll be killing each other, and then they'll think to themselves, Jesus, we used to do that millions of years ago. And then they'll think, we'll have a look. So they'll come down, they'll flee about, you'll see their spaceship, and then they'll flee away home again. And they'll not want to land here. I mean, really, if you were a highly intelligent alien, right, and you were in your spaceship, and you found a world where people were killing each other, and there was slaughtering each other, and there was wars, and there was famine, and there was diseases, and there was just madness, right? Would you want to land there? I would want to have a look. I would want to.
Well, yeah, you would want to. You would probably want to study it.
Yeah, I would want to study it, but
it off.
I would not want to set foot on that world until they were at the same kind of development state as I was, because they would probably shoot me or dissect me.
Yeah, we could do a whole another episode involving supposed incidents like that, because kind of bouncing back to the China remark, yes, we are global superpowers, well-known rivals. China has had a lot of interesting technological advancements come out of their way recently.
Oh yeah.
The nuclear generator that was essentially a second sun for how powerful it was.
Yeah, fusion reactor. Yeah.
Oh yeah. So needless to say, they're not going to want to get that to us. That's that goes into the full fields of espionage, trying to figure that kind of stuff out because they don't want it used against them.
They built supposedly built this reactor that's a fusion reactor, and everybody kens that fusion's cleaner than nuclear. There's no radiation for fusion power, and I'm not talking about the razor blades. And basically, one fusion reactor, it's obviously hotter inside it than the surface of the sun, and it can produce more electricity than 5 nuclear power plants. And it's a clean form of electricity. You could shut it down, you could turn it off, turn it back on again. You could walk inside the reactor core after you've had it going for a little while, and there'd be no radiation.
Oh, you just still get a pretty nasty sunburn from it.
I wouldn't like to be inside it because inside it's something it's warmer than the core of the sun. I mean, it's
like 17 times.
Yeah, that's how the sun. A lot of people don't realize the sun is a giant fusion reactor, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that's what people are trying to do. They're trying to create a fusion reactor,
and they were successful. But the thing is, China actually has to ban fireworks because of their pollution problem.
Yes,
it is terrible over there in Beijing. If you ever go to China, pray for rain so that way the air is somewhat clean. Because a typical guy going on his commute, just going about his day, going to work, all that, just breathing in the air, it's the equivalent of sucking down 10 packs of cigarettes. The pollution gets so bad that if they were to light something on fire, you may as well just fucking napalm Beijing.
You can't see in the pollution's that bad. What's happening on the 5th of July? No, the 6th, the 5th. Something very special, Dakota, come on.
For the 5th?
To do with the Hadron Collider on the 5th of July is going to be
powered they're turning it on.
And they're going to be activating it's going to be the most powerfulest they've ever used it at. What could go possibly wrong? The Mandela effect.
Makes you wonder.
You'll wake up with a full head of hair.
I would love to get my Pleiadian locks back.
You don't know. So, Dakota, what news do we have? What's the show tomorrow then? Because have you any more announcements you would like to make? Because we've got about, 15, 20 minutes left.
There was kind of one remark that, just kind of add on to the China picking up signals from space. Here's the thing that a lot of people don't realize. When it comes, see, like the James Webb Telescope, it is more equipped to look into infrared frequencies. Why is that special? Because with the expansion of the universe, the most distant galaxies right now glow red.
Yeah.
They look red to us because of how light shifting away and they're moving away. So the James Webb Telescope is going to try to combat that with adding a broader spectrum to it. Why do I bring this up? Let's take the Pleiades as an example. It's supposed to be one of the closest civilizations, most like humans. They're supposed to be essentially our galactic cousins.
Yeah.
At about 400 light years away, if they had, just a typical telescope, I was like, oh, what are those little Earth weirdos doing?
Yeah.
They would see us in the 1600s.
Yeah.
Without any need for technology. That is, so if the level of technology that they're saying behind these craft to officially come through space and time reach such a specific effect, our technology is not equipped to pick up those types of signals. It can't, because it doesn't know where to fucking look.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just saying in the chat, we're live for a wee bit longer yet. We're no leaving just yet. Right. this is what I find very interesting. You talk about the signals, right? What happens if some of these signals aren't actually alien signals? What happens if they're actually just signals from Earth?
That's
You think
actually
about
been
it.
known to happen.
Yeah, the signals are going out now. If you get in a spaceship now and you went to the very edge of our solar system, right? You could probably pick up transmissions, Hitler, or you could pick up transmissions for the 1920s, 1930s. How do we not know that we've maybe sent secret spaceships, right? Maybe we've sent secret satellites up there that we do not know about, right? And it's sending back maybe a frequency, or we're beaming frequency to that, and that satellite is long gone. And the Chinese don't know about this. And they're picking that up, thinking, "Oh, this is man-made, and it's a strange. It's numbers, and it means certain coordinates, and it means this, and it means that." But in actual fact, it's just an old satellite, or it's an old transmission.
There's actually been incidents where we believe that any signals we picked up that may have looked man-made were just reflections off of other things. So possibly,
yeah.
And Mike actually asked an interesting
that's what
question.
I was going to say. Yeah. Oh.
I was just going to lead into it. When it comes to like dark matter, they believe that may actually be regular matter bleeding through into this universe.
Yeah.
So while I did say that, yes, technically our equipment can't pick up these signals because the way how they travel, we don't have that capability to look in those directions. Who's to say that some of the stuff we do pick up on is stuff that leaks out?
Yeah.
Who's to say, like, let's take EVPs as an example. Ghosts are supposed to exist in higher dimensional planes, which means anything that would be like the size of this cup to us would essentially be the equivalent of the Atlantic Ocean, as an example. They could be screaming at the top of their lungs saying, "Yeah!" All we would hear is,
"Yeah."
As an example.
But here's an interesting, what happens if it's right? Here's a scenario about ghost hunting and stuff like that. You're walking through a Victorian house, right, doing a ghost investigation, right? It's creepy as anything, all dusty, falling apart, right? You see a figure walk through the room, right? What happens if that isn't a time slip? What happens if it isn't actually a spirit? What happens if it's just a time slip in the fabric of time and space? What happens to them? They're still in the, like, 1700s walking through that house, going to their bed or whatever, and they look up and they see a strange light and it disappears. That's you and your torch. To them, they think they see a ghost, right? But it's actually you. But to you think they're a ghost, but it's vice versa. What happens if some of this is just slips in time? Because let's face it, there's been reports that could you come back and haunt yourself?
Actually, there are reports to suggest all of this may be a possibility. There's individuals who have had near-death experiences who later would have people frantically trying to get a hold of them because they happen to be in the location of said near-death experience. Thought they saw their ghost.
Yeah.
There's actually been reported cases of this. Obviously difficult to test. The individuals in question, a little bit shady, but in the event, it does lend some credence. There's also been reports of, say, grandma sitting in a rocking chair. She sees like 3 shadows walk into the room, freaks out. The shadows look like they see her, freak out. They leave the room. Grandma dies. Years later, a dude with a couple of his friends walks into a room. All of a sudden, sees a shadow apparition in Grandma's rocking chair. There's actually been reports of this. So, who's to say?
Yeah. It's scary, but it's actually mind-blowing when you think about it. I know. It's like, because the afterlife's meant to have no time, right? So a blink of an eye in the afterlife is like 100 years for us. There's nothing, right?
Mm-hmm.
But here's a question. I was watching that person we were talking about last night about the near-death experience women. And what happens if they say you plan your life? They say you plan your life, right?
Mhm.
You die, right? What am I trying to say is like you're in the afterlife, right? You plan your death, right? Because that's what they say. They say you can plan, you can leave when you want to leave, right? But it's like time doesn't exist there. You see where I'm going with this? You see where I'm going here? Time does not exist in the afterlife. There is no time. You can go anywhere, you can do anything. Mike's probably knows about this, right? So you can basically watch how your life plays out in the afterlife, right? Right? But while you're living on this plane, this existence now, and the spirits that come to you, and you sometimes see, how do you not know that that isn't actually you planning your life? Think about it. Because when you die, you go back and you live through the life review and such and such and such. But it's like the human mind can't comprehend. What's your thoughts on that, Dakota? Because again, you're more.
How do I put this? The whole no time in the afterlife. I have a problem with that statement because people assume time is a string, as an example. It starts at one end, ends at one point.
Yeah.
It's a lot more fluid in nature. It's essentially moves like water. Anything that moves around can affect the flow of times, things like that. When you go into higher dimensions where some of these spirits allegedly reside, there's more room for that to walk. Hence, they can move through any point in time and start moving into other potential realities even.
Yeah.
That's where a lot of that comes from. But you do have a point. In that, who's to say that some of these things we're running into aren't essentially ourselves taking a peek, say life review as an example. Or maybe it's our previous reincarnation getting a sneak peek at what's to come.
Right, say you plan your life. You plan your life, right? You're going to, I'm going to be this, I'm going to be that, and I'm going to fall into that river. But somebody, some secret force is going to pull me out of that river, right? What happens if it's you that pulls yourself out of the river? Or what happens if it's a secret? The guardian angel is behind you right now, or behind everybody, because everybody's got like, and I'm using the angel word there, Mike. Right. I know he'll be burning the steam coming out his ears and everything. Oh, the spirit guide. I'll just say spirit guide there. Could you know, in theory, be your own spirit guide?
Here's where that comes into play. When it comes to a lot of these concepts, at the end of the day, you have to remember there's a concept known as soul fragmentation.
Yes.
Lisa, we've talked about it quite a few times. Right. You want to talk about what's like the population of life in a known universe. Mm-hmm. Let's go this route. It's you. Every instance, every individual, no matter where in the world they may be from, what planet they may be from, the very essence is all one being.
Yeah.
Observing itself, observing different instances of what is possible within that said reality. So technically, spirit guides, guardian angels, whatever terms you want to use, they're you.
Yeah.
It could get a little awfully philosophical there for you.
Yeah.
Every person you see die, you see yourself die.
But here's something that I think happens, right? This is just my opinion, right? And maybe this doesn't happen. Maybe I'm bullshit, right? You die.
Well,
you go to the after. You die, you go to the afterlife, right? You go to whatever it is, the great beyond, right? You go before the life review, and then your soul, there's two parts of your soul. You stay in the afterlife, right? Whereas a bit of your soul goes and becomes born again, right? And that soul that's born again, you can go and visit it and look after it, right? And it's obviously it's like born again, but it's a different soul, right? You get me? And then it comes back, and that bit of its soul stays. And the infinite, the great wheel goes on. It just keeps going and going. And the bit that's you're left, you go back to the source. You go back to the great source of everything.
Mm-hmm.
And to you, yeah, you are Dakota. You are Dakota. You know everything. You can see this amazing light and all your dead relatives and all that kind of stuff. But you go back to the light, and it's as if you like uplink with it, right? And all your knowledge and all your everything gets fed into it. But then after that, you can do what you want. You can you're in the spirit world. You can do what you want. You can go and talk to your relatives and such and that, right? Or you can come back again. But a bit of your soul breaks off and becomes another new soul. You see what I'm trying to say?
There's
What's
actual
that,
science
Mike?
behind this.
No.
Well, the whole dead hooker, we probably should have confronted that a little closer to when we saw it actually post, so that way the conversation would make more sense. It's not that much out of the question. Craig Campobasso, Buffon, actually recognizes this. Every body we take, the soul is not complete. It is a fragment of a greater being. If the soul is, in fact, higher dimensional, let's use the soul is light analogy.
Yeah.
You focus too much light into one spot, what happens?
No, explodes, bro. Yeah.
Spontaneous combustion.
Yeah.
So only part of the soul fragment goes into the new body. You can still very well, you can technically still be in the afterlife.
Yes.
And in theory, you could be able to bounce your perspective between the two.
Yes.
Every time you have a child, part of that soul fragment goes into the child.
Yes.
Mixes with the other parent. Or parents, we have certain conditions where technically people could have 3 biological parents or more. But that's another discussion. Essentially, it always lives on, is what I'm saying.
What I'm trying to say is, right, say I turn the light off the night, I go to my bed and die in my sleep, right? I go to the afterlife, right? And a bit of my soul goes and becomes born again as a new soul. But my soul, half of it, goes to the great beyond, wherever it is, and I get my life review and I do all my stuff, and then I can get the choice of coming back again. But a bit of my soul has been halved, and that goes and becomes a new soul. Because let's face it, we all have to come for somebody. There must obviously the human mind working here, right? Obviously, it's not powerful enough. Obviously, the soul never dies. You're right, Sherry. But obviously, more souls have to be made. So when say the great universe, the galaxy, everything, the great creation, everything when it first began, right? Imagine it set off in a certain amount of souls. Let's say it set off for 10 trillion souls, right? When that soul come back, this bit of the soul here can go and it can do its life review and it can meet its family members and it can it can decide and plan its own life again, right?
Mm-hmm.
But this bit of the soul instantly gets born again as a new soul, as a new soul, a first ever soul. Think about it. So when it dies, it comes back, right? And it's halved, and it can go and learn its life review and such, right? And its other half of the soul is instantly born again and becomes a new soul. But obviously, that half that you've went away the first time, you can come back again. But every time you die, a little bit of you gets turned into a new soul. So it's the infinite because the great beyond's infinite, isn't it? It will always be, and it will never end. Who knows where all of this became? Obviously, because we're human and we're not intelligent enough, right? Think about this. There'll be the extraterrestrials out there that are really, really old, right? That they think they know everything, but they don't, because everything is infinite. Or even that soul that breaks away goes into the alternate reality. You'll not know until it's your time. You'll not know until it's your time, and that's the honest truth. You'll not know, unless, of course. So, Dakota, do we have any more news before?
Well, I guess we are starting to get a little bit over in time, and I am supposed to be meeting with a client shortly after this.
Ooh.
Fuck off. All right.
How much is Mike paying you?
Oh, sweet Jesus.
I'm sorry, Mike. Don't do any magic on me. Do it on him.
Do it on him. Practice your aim. Hit Scotland. Anyway. So, there are a lot of things coming up for the company. Obviously, next week, this guy is going to have his own little wet dream come true when we have Dave Schrader on for next Saturday. We also have been slowly expanding our store online to where, because we are an Amazon affiliate, we have the option to make small commission on sales through Amazon. So we actually started listing some of the books from our guests in our store as well. We also have investigation equipment for sale. Well, so a lot of exciting stuff there. You can also, honestly, I've been meaning to ask you with this. The whole TV network, the TV network thing. What do you think of that?
I think it's great. I honestly think it's great. The TV network's absolutely brilliant. It's one of the best ideas I think you've ever had.
Oh, I thank you. And you gotta remember, technically, I am the big boss of the company, so
I'm just here for the accent and the handsomeness. You know?
And yes, Sherry, there are cameras on there as well. I was just adding some thermal ones to the store just before we went live.
There's Mike the Naked Bigfoot. I would give him
my left testicle. Oh my! Well, Mike, make sure you tune in next week.
If you tune in next week, Mike, I'll give you a shout out when Mike's in the room, and I'll get him to say hi, Mike.
Oh, I can already imagine that's going to be a fun show. Anyway,
now, when you go, you're saying TV show. I think it's brilliant. Like,
all right. I thought it would be an interesting idea to have a constant stream of our videos.
Yes.
And everybody who's a member of the Ball and Bonkers team has their own channel.
Yes.
Sherry's got one. Technically, he has one too, but everything. When we started the company, we kind of absorbed everything into one another just to kind of help grow things to where it is at. We are actually starting to lease channels, which means if you want one, we can help set you up.
Yes.
And that is actually available in our Shopify store to kind of help make things easier. It'll be a monthly lease situation. Cost you just a little over $50 a month, but you'll be able to embed it on your website. Your channel will grow as Bald and Bonkers grows. You'll have access to our numbers, which we have estimated audience at any given time at almost 170,000. I know some people have tried to question me, but quite frankly, the BS behind a lot of this so-called drama in the paranormal, we can go into that tomorrow. The only question that ever gets brought up to me when those come up is, who'd you sleep with that you pissed off? That's how fucking ridiculous their logic is. Anyway, you'll be able to grow with us. You'll be able to have your own channel. You can embed it on your own website, and eventually, we will have a Roku TV app that you will be able to be a part of. This was stuff we had to build up to. So if you're interested, we do have that on our store with all sorts of other fun little merch from all of our shows. We have a link to Smith Family's website because they do their own stuff. And yes, Sherry, there's K2s on there as well. There's spirit boxes. We'll slowly add in more and more stuff.
Also, and also there's also bikinis there too. I think we should bring out a limited edition with me and Mike and Dakota on it. What do you think, ladies and gentlemen? I have to say that Mike will be sitting rolling about laughing about this. I had to say it. We'll talk to you tomorrow about it, Mike.
Yeah, and ironically, those bikinis would probably not fit any of us.
Well,
they only go up to 2X.
Oh well, I think I could put it in one. I could put one of the cups on top of my head.
Oh my!
Earmuffs.
Who was it?
I could use the cups for
saying that if you and I were to butt heads, we would look like Dolly Parton's chest.
2 tits together, I would say. You know.
I think Sherry's saying she wants one of our bikinis.
There you go. You get a discount code or something like that. Get her one. You know.
We'll look into it. So, like I said, lots of cool merchandise. We're gonna have some. No, Sherry, not an orb. That was cat hair. Which we'll go into orbs tomorrow because that is something that should be discussed.
I think the TV thing's a really good idea. I mean, think about it, guys. If you've got a YouTube channel and you want to get it out there, we are going to do all the work for you. Dakota's got to do all the work for you. He's going to put your video out there. It's going to go out in the ether, the podcast, the TV, everything. Honestly, I think it's a brilliant idea.
And yes, if we go to embed your YouTube videos, it will boost your counts.
Yeah.
And Sherry, again, I don't know what it is. I would have to physically be sitting there, but it works for everybody but you for some reason. Yeah, I'm not saying that to be mean. That's literally what's going on.
So, Dakota, tomorrow's show should be interesting. Frauds in the paranormal. I think that's going to be. And there's a couple of subjects I want to get into too, especially with the drama and the paranormal. That's lately is just ridiculous. You know?
Honestly, I think most of that is people trying to get a leg up. And I noticed that there's there's that whole little, there's no right way to do this type of thing. And it was working for you? Huh. We can talk about the TV network now. Oh, so you got that situated. Good. Sorry, I'm squirrel moment as I'm reading the chat. Yeah, so I'm not having a schizophrenic moment, I swear. Okay.
Yeah.
Anyway, so we are also going to be looking into establishing a radio networks for itself. For those of you who do have a physical audio podcast, you would be able to synchronize with it as well. Yes, it does kind of help our numbers, but it will also direct stuff to you, which I do want to say. Our lovely Smith family has recently joined Anchor, which allows them to share their stuff onto Spotify as well. I sent them that way because it's free and you can actually link up Anchor with a lot of different other websites. So
good podcast, guys. Please check it out. The podcast is really good. Smith Family Paranormal. I was listening to it the other day when I was driving. Very, very good.
And yes, if going back to my earlier remarks from the beginning of the show, we do have an audio podcast, so please don't try to crash your car trying to listen to us on YouTube.
Yeah.
I found out apparently some of our audience is doing that. We can't be legally responsible if you crash your car.
So, who will be joining us tomorrow night? We have Mike, the Naked Bigfoot, and everybody loves Mike, the Naked Bigfoot. He will be joining us tomorrow night.
I got to thinking about that. Maybe Lex. He does do Through the Lens. Mm-hmm. So, and that does kind of overlap with us. So he might not make it. No judgment there. He's got to do his thing. Mm-hmm. But I got to thinking, why don't we make it an open discussion tomorrow?
Yeah. Yeah.
You know,
we could do
let
that.
people kind of chime in. You know, keep things respectful.
Yes.
You know, we are a company and we are in the talks with potentially some big partners right now. So we kind of had to start behaving ourselves just a little bit more.
Yeah.
So we're going to start trying to step away from the drama.
There's too, as I say before the end of the show, there's too much drama in the paranormal. It's ridiculous, the drama in the paranormal. In fact, I would say when you're doing the drama stuff, you're just acting like a kid, a 5-year-old. So stop it, you know? And it gets people down and it makes their life terrible, and stop it, you know? But that's my opinion.
And yes, this half the stuff that does happen falls under cyberbullying laws.
Oh, yeah.
And this is something that I wish a lot more people would realize, and it is something that is constantly used to try to discredit the paranormal field because of how fucking obvious it is once you actually pay attention. But there ain't a damn one of us who wouldn't qualify for some sort of mental illness.
Yeah. And also what annoys me in particular is that there's a lot of people out there flag our videos for the most stupidest reason.
I know, right?
I know.
I mean, a YouTube account that was tied to an email that had nothing but a couple BS videos, because I was using it because for some of you who know, I do get involved in movie auditions from time to time, and sometimes it's kind of a backup in case the actual video submission doesn't work.
Yeah.
What they recommend is posting that audition tape to YouTube and leaving it unlisted and sending them the link as kind of a backup, which is what I did. Some of my old audition tapes are still on that.
No.
That channel, with absolutely no warning whatsoever, got terminated the other night. I just got it back this morning.
No, it was through the YouTube channel, and somebody's put a copyright claim in for a certain video that we did. I mean, we did a video on. It was actually, was it Frauds in the Paranormal? Was it Paranormal?
It was the fake psychics video.
Yeah, it was a fake psychics video.
Honestly, a part of me wants to try to give benefit of the doubt because we did do that little Miley Cyrus thing towards the end. But I find it kind of funny because normally if it's a situation like that, YouTube would tell you roughly where the copyrighted material is, right?
Yeah.
Give you an option to edit it.
Yeah.
That wasn't given.
No.
That's what I found suspicious.
No, what I found suspicious was that it was somebody had put a copyright claim something in the video, but it wasn't that side of the video that we did. It was someone claiming because it was such and such. I'm not getting into it, guys, but it didn't work. I'm just going to tell you right now, it didn't work. Oh, and by the way, YouTube knows, and they're not happy. So
like I said, I want to give benefit of the doubt just because we did get flagged by the Russians on Facebook.
I think everybody's flagging them.
But that's just Russia.
Yeah.
That's just Russia. Miley Cyrus. Yeah, we know we were reported, but we sent in an appeal. YouTube backed us up, saying, "Yeah, that's not a big deal. You guys are fine."
I was reading into this last night. I mean, YouTube will have whoever did that.
Oh yeah, they log it.
To God, yeah, and I hope to God that they didn't use the same email as they use for their YouTube channel or anything like that. Because if they did and they find that suspicious, and it happens again and again, they'll shut that email down.
Here's the thing: YouTube is owned by Google, and Google, they can IP lock. And what does that mean for the technologically illiterate? Basically, you have an IP address on your phone, on your computer. It's say it's like a digital version of your snail mail address. Let's go with that analogy. Any accounts that get created, and we're saying this for the trolls.
Yeah.
They get marked as potentially being affiliate, even if it's like on a shared computer and it's an account your wife made, as an example. they would get flagged as well.
Yeah.
And they record this stuff because of the number of times bigger companies go to flag material, even though it falls under fair use guidelines.
Mm-hmm.
They flag it. Your contact information, your physical address, all of this can be found in case they have to send information back and forth to take
it's
to court.
It's not just that. Whoever flagged that, they put in a false report. Now, even if they delete that email, right, and they
Still
delete
logged.
that report, it's still logged. They know exactly what device you used. They know the ID number of that device, and they have your IP address. So you could throw away your phone, you could throw away your laptop,
Actually,
but they would still know who you are.
Actually, you want to hear something interesting?
Hmm?
I learned this the other day. A lot of these algorithms, say TikTok as an example, just because it's one of the worst in this particular area.
Oh, yeah.
The algorithms are based on mass reports.
Yes.
So, means basically if multiple people start reporting it at once,
Mm-hmm.
it usually will get flagged without actually any physical human being taking a look at it.
Yeah.
You can technically subpoena the records of every single person who filed that false report and sue.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
This is true.
Yeah.
Now, granted, for legal reasons, I would recommend speaking to an actual lawyer, which we do have on standby because this is an official company. Yeah. For situations pertaining to your particular case.
Yeah.
Now, I'm just saying that. Yes. And by the way, we are trained investigators. We know how to find that stuff.
Well, it's not just that, Tate. It's really good that YouTube said they're going to look in and see who did it, and they're going to investigate it,
Because once again, this drama, trying to act like you're the big dog.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not one to judge if you want to try to get on these big shows like Ghost Hunters. That'd be hypocritical in my case because I did National Geographic and I didn't even get paid. I did it simply because it was National Geographic.
Yeah. But there we go.
You can still have a fucking moral compass and still try to pursue this stuff. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah. So, ladies and gentlemen, we thought we'd tell you about that, but we'll maybe go into it in more detail tomorrow. And because I think it'll be very interesting, some of the subjects are going to come up. So, ladies and gentlemen, have a great Saturday night, and we'll see you all tomorrow. And I'm sure it'll be an awesome show. Take care and have a brilliant night, guys. And Sherry, get better soon.
Yes, Sherry. Much love. Focus on getting yourself better before you worry about us, okay? Don't worry about Lost Magics. It's there waiting for you.
Catch you later, Sherry. See.
Bye.